All right.
What's up?
What's going on? Good morning.
Good morning, Professor.
Sunday morning, huh?
Oh, yeah.
George in the house.
Yes, sir. How is everyone?
Good. Real good. Talking to Kevin, he's like, man, we got to hang out. We gotta talk. And, first time I met you, I was like, how much weight did you lose?
My highest weight was 451 pounds. June 1st of 2021, I decided to lose weight, and I lost.
2021 only?
Yeah. Or no, 2020.
2020.
It was my 21st birthday.
Okay.
So a year, sorry.
No
CTE. So yeah, June 1st of 2020.
All the MMA training.
Yeah. But from there, I lost 260 pounds. So my lowest weight on the scale was 189. I'm about 193 right now, healthy, working out, filling into my body a lot more.
Yeah. Wow, 260 pounds.
Yeah. A whole heavyweight division.
That's crazy. So how was it when you first started just moving?
What
was the process like? How does I'm gonna lose weight?
So I was a very avid podcast fan. Obviously the Joe Rogans out there, but I really hooked on to my boy Brendan Schaub. Love you, B. Mm-hmm. He was at the same time going through a lot of difficulties in life. One of his co-hosts got kicked off the show for a little bit. He was he was going through his stuff, and I saw it. And he was also talking about losing weight at the time, and it really struck a chord with me. I was like, man, he talks about it like it's just simple, like we can do it. I don't know. He gave me no doubt in my brain, just from as a fan perspective, okay, this is possible. So I started.
Made you believe.
Yeah. So my very first steps were I reduced my calories in, because calories in,
just him
calories
talking
out.
about it. You're like,
yeah,
man. He's like.
He had a couple fill-in guests that were very health, workout conscious, and were talking about the steps, and just I don't know, it made me feel like it was so possible. And I felt like it was I felt like I was in such a hole for so long when you're because I wasn't, I didn't balloon up. I was always big. I was a fat baby. A fat toddler. It just kept going.
What was life like at the highest weight? What was a day in the life?
I mean, I was very lackadaisical. I liked being I was like a houseplant. I liked being in one spot. I liked everything. I just liked watching the room around me. I was a social butterfly. I was a social butterfly.
We talk on the phone.
Yeah. I'm always positive and happy. This has always been my demeanor. But there was a level of, there was a shadow over it. And I didn't realize the shadow until I came out from under it. But it was very cloudy. It wasn't as much sunshine as I would have thought it was at the time.
What was I need to lose this weight, or I want to lose this weight?
The pandemic hit, and I was stuck inside because I'm a good boy. I like to follow the rules. No, I just didn't have a life. I was already inside. But now I didn't have the choice. I was like,
the choice.
You guys say I can't go outside? Screw you guys. But I felt so trapped. And I didn't just feel trapped in my house. I felt trapped in my body. And it became too heavy. I was too heavy, but it became too heavy on me. And I was like, it's either I decide to make an effort for a long time to change, or I'm stuck like this forever. And I was like, well, I'm already stuck inside. The world's stuck, so I'm not allowed to participate in the world anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm going to participate in me. And I really took all of my energy and just focused it. I was lucky enough to be living and working at home. My dad's disabled, so I would take care of him and my family, my nieces. I would always...
Where are you from?
About an hour south of Chicago, so Kankakee.
Okay.
My dad, he broke his back when I was 1. He has a history with drug use, and his brain is very messed up now. My brother passed away from drugs, so we took care of his kids. you know, I help a lot with my nieces and their absent fathers at times. And I've always been very family oriented. I stuck to that stuff. So now, like, during that time, I could focus on them and me. I've never been able to focus on me. I always put myself to the back of the line, you know? Now I finally get to focus on me, and I ran with it. I put all of my energy in that direction, and it started off small. I started reducing my calories in, calories out. I cut down to 1,800 calories, then 1,600 calories, and then at my lowest, I'd cut down to 1,400 calories a day. A lot of intermediate fasting.
Intermittent fasting. Huh?
Yeah.
I had to practice that from my TED Talk. I kept jumbling my words. Intermittent fasting.
It's intermittent.
Same thing.
I was hungry. I know that damn. Crying at Burger King commercial. Like, oh. But yeah, I started with that, and then I had buddies that at the same time they really wanted to get in shape and start working out. So my buddy, he invited me to his basement, get those good basement workouts. He had a squat rack. He had, you know, barbells. He had free weights. He had the world's smallest wrestling mat. It's like a quarter of like a normal, you know, those tiny, tiny wrestling mats. There's not a lot of space. You can't drill anything, but like maybe top bottom. Freaking. But I went there and I started 1 day a week hitting the heavy bag. Just boxing gloves, 16-ounce boxing gloves, hitting a heavy bag. From there, I would come more and more often, the more comfortable and better I felt.
When you were hitting the bag, what were you thinking about?
Just all the cool shit I've watched. I've always been an MMA fan. And as a little kid, I was a WWE fan, which is like storybook MMA, you know? Yeah. I love it. I love it still. It's fun. It's athletics. But then I got very heavy into UFC and martial arts. My dad was a third-degree black belt in his youth under Bill Superfoot Wallace.
Yeah. Cool.
But I always had like a love for it. And when I saw the respect they have, like any fighter, martial artist, anything, just like how it translates to life and just, you can see, like, I never had that much guidance of like being forced down to focus on one thing. And when I saw somebody so passionate in doing that and like happy to go through that struggle, I was like, I don't know, it resonated very, very much in my soul. So I would just practice, like, whenever I threw jabs or 1-2s, I would watch fucking Nick Diaz and try to like fully get my shoulder out there, fully use my reach. Because I was so big, I felt like I had a little wingspan. I still feel like I have a little wingspan, just because I'm not a super athlete. But I would practice that. Like, when I thought of body shots, I would think of Big Brother Nick Diaz throwing those nice uppercuts.
You'd visualize with these guys in
Yeah.
mind.
And
You'd picture yourself as Nick Diaz, picture yourself as these guys.
yeah, or just I would fully focus on their form and just like how much they put themselves into it. And like I don't know, I would just watch everything I liked, and I had this like weird memory bank for it in my head. I'd be like, this is a straight arm bar, Tom Aspinall hit Volkov with it, and like I would just like think of random things that I memorized or just that clicked in my head, and like I would just try to do it. And sometimes it wouldn't work at all. Trust me. Even in MMA class, I still try to do a judo hip throw and fall on my face, just forehead straight to the mat. But I'm trying it.
Yeah. That's it. That's it.
So
So you started moving, and then what you hit in the bag and started to interrupt you?
No, it's okay.
And then
from there, my buddies were like, "You want to squat?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know about that." They're like, "You want to do some rows?" I'm like, I don't know, that seems scary. And finally they were like, George, stretch. You're lifting weights today. And I'm like, fuck. But I'm like, I gotta do it, you know? They called me out. I gotta lift these weights now. So from there, I would show up expecting just to punch the heavy bag, and then it would turn into weight training. That turned into 6 days a week. Sunday for cardio, Saturday for the UFC, you know. Gotta take my day off, get some brews in me. No, actually, I stopped drinking all of my diet because sugars. But, yeah, I just really...
Did you weigh yourself every day?
Not every. Yeah, probably. It was pretty often.
Because when I cut weight for competitions or fights, like I'm weighing myself like every day throughout the day probably.
I probably got way more hyper focused on it than I ever should have, but like I had a drive.
Yeah.
And like once you see the progress,
right.
And I'm like, oh, let me keep this hoodie on this workout. Let me see if I can hit my nice low number before I go eat and refuel my body afterwards. Like it became like a little bit of a numbers game.
You get that dopamine release in the body, to keep going, right?
And plus I had like my two best friends, Nico and Hunter, and they, if I ever don't want to do it, they're forcing me. If they don't,
keep you accountable.
Yeah, and same way there. And I know, like that's kind of like one of your last episodes you talked about, just like in MMA the mentality of like finding your group. Like that's what keeps you with the martial art is the relationships you build, and it's so accurate. Like throughout all of this, it's like life altering relationships of like when you're low, you don't realize who's there for you. Truly, it's very beautiful. But yeah, I had my people with me. They didn't let me give up on myself when I wanted to. I didn't let them give up. We stuck through it, and it worked,
So 267 pounds, like that first 100 is probably like.
It was exciting.
That was probably like I'm assuming it's the hardest.
So
just getting your routine down, getting your environment around you, the right the people, the routine.
So I got BMI surgery in the middle of my weight loss journey to help, which is where they remove a portion of your stomach. They shrink just your muscles down.
Okay.
But before that, before the diet, before the surgery was strict, like exercise diet. I had a flip cold turkey, and I lost 80 pounds in 8 months. And that was like, I was gearing up towards the surgery, so I had like a finish line in my head for that. But that was probably the hardest point. After the surgery, obviously, it helped a lot, but that just brought a whole different set of complications and stuff. And, it worked very well for me, but also you have to have the mind and knowledge about health and nutrition and stuff for it.
So you just fall right back, right?
Yeah, for sure.
What were some of the complications with the surgery?
Well, there was just like, it's just a lifestyle change. Like you have to teach yourself.
First that ingrained, right? Which you did.
You have to
losing 80 pounds.
Yeah, that's the first step. From there, after the surgery, you have to let your stomach heal. So you can only eat very bland, blended down, puree garbage. So like there's that. From there, you have to reintroduce every food to your stomach ecosystem. Which I'm still doing. I'm still very nervous about. When I moved to LA, I introduced fruit to my diet.
Wow.
Like, like on some natural sugar carbs from Earth. But like, you have to teach yourself to eat slow and in small portions. You can't like gorge yourself. You have to change your whole relation. Or at least me, I had to just change how I looked at food in general. Food's not a treat or like something fun for me. Like it's fuel for my body now, which there are still fuel for my body that I love. And like, I get my little sugar-free cookies, I like to splurge a little bit, but I'm still very nervous about falling off my food wagon. So like, there's just a lot of like mentally changing how you look at food and also physically adapting to adding this new food and new lifestyle. So it is, it's not an end all be all. There's no surgery, no pill that's ever going to fix anything in your life. It's a lot of mental health and willpower, but it just took a lot of stress off of my brain of doing it by myself. So it did work very well for me. It can work very well for people, but just please have the knowledge and health knowledge and the right people and doctors around you. Like I get blood work. I take Uber multivitamins every day. Like I'm very strict with that stuff. I don't miss my medication. I don't miss, it's my body. I finally get to take care of it. I'm not gonna mess it up.
That's amazing. How old are you now?
23.
23, man. That's young man. Like you. So you're 21. Wow. You know, you complete
2 years.
Transferred your whole life around.
Went from taking care of my family, living in my tiny room in tiny house, Illinois, to being in LA, doing what I watched on TV every day, YouTube TV, but what I watched on my actual TV screen every day to make.
So how was that process coming out to LA?
I literally, when I met up with Brendan, so I flew in. I sent in a video right after my surgery. They were like, hey, if this kid can make it down to 260, I'll fly him out. He'll get to be on the show. Half joking, half not, because, you know, it's a comedy podcast, but they got to have faith, and, you know, they're not going to kick a kid when he's down.
Yeah.
But I heard that, and I was like, okay.
So you're already down. Once you get down to 100 pounds, they're like, okay, we're gonna fly you out.
So they flew me out. They let me wrestle Stevie Weeby on their show, Bobby Lee's little brother. Lost. He was really good at that. I didn't know he was like state qualifying in California. Like, apparently that's good, you know? I was just this chubby, silly kid. I'm like, yeah, I'll wrestle Stevie. Sure, Theo. But I did that. And from there, Brendan was like, well, I'm recording he was just playing in San Antonio. He was like, come out to San Antonio. You've never been anywhere in the fucking world. Come have fun.
Had you ever left your town?
No, well, like for funerals, I would camp like at the border of Michigan. So like I was just never outside of like 500 miles.
Wow.
So like anywhere that I could drive to. Never been on a plane. Never been on like a actual vacation. Never did anything. So Brendan flew me out to San Antonio, put me up at the Hotel Emma on like the presidential suite floor. We shot a big vlog for it and stuff. It was very fun. Brought me up on stage, just introduced me to the crowd, and like showed so much support. At dinner that night, we just had like a heart to heart, and like Brendan, like he got very emotional and was just like, I brought you out here to show you that there's more to life. Like there's so much that can happen. From there, he flew me out to his special. Really cool. It's amazing. Like, I'm so blessed to have anyone in my life that cares. Like, I think we all are, but like, he's a stranger, you know? You didn't
have to do that.
Not at all. But from there, he flew me out to his special. He flew me out to his special. I got to watch him film Gringo Papi, see like the whole production behind it, and like just like how in tune everyone was and the professionalism. And I was like, man, like this. It gives me that same feeling. And I talked to them, and I was like, man, if you guys ever have an opening, I'll come mop the floor. I don't care. I'll grab Diet Colas from the store. I'll do anything. And they were like, all right. I'm like, are you game? And I was game. So I told my mom about a month before. I'm like, hey, I got offered this amazing job. And like we were talking about it before. They were like, hey, maybe winter time, maybe this time, maybe that time. So my mom already had kind of an idea. But like a month before, I'm like, hey, Mom, they offered me this, and I have to take it. Like, I want to do it for me. She was like, yeah, for sure. Go for it. So I packed up my Jeep. 4 days, just drove all the way to California. Got here. It was a beautiful trip. I vlogged it all on Go George Go, my channel. It's kind of taken
YouTube.
Yeah, it's taken a little step back now because I'm actually like a big boy editor now at Thick Boy, so I have a lot of job stuff. Yeah, I'm full time. Job comes before everything.
What's your YouTube though? What's
George or YouTube.com/C/Go George Go.
Go George Go.
Yeah. So I vlogged my whole trip over here. And that was really my homework to learn how to edit. Like, I didn't really realize it at the time, but Mike, he gave me that, and he helped me through that. And that set up the building blocks for me to learn how to do all of editing. And how to, he wanted to make sure I could tell a story in editing. He wanted to make sure I had an eye for, what the film and, what would make sense on screen. And, it was really, very genius of him. So I made these little vlogs. From there, I graduated to more and more small stuff, proving myself. And now, like, I'm full-time every day editing reels and clips, and I edit my podcast, and I'm on 12 Packs with Jeff Dye.
12 packs?
Yeah, we open packs of cards and drink a beer for every pack we open. It's very fun. We just talk about sports and bullshit with a little bit of cards to help drive the narrative. If you ever want to come drink and if you like sports cards. But
what kind of sports cards?
We open all kinds. Baseball,
sports?
football,
Gotcha.
and like fucking UFC.
Cool.
We like any UFC guy that comes in, we have like them autograph cards for the crew. So I have like this really nice collection. I got a Patty Pimblett rookie card autograph.
Oh, cool.
I got Sugar Sean, Cheeto, and plus like the people I meet, because some of them I got like Mike saved me some from the previous guys, but like then I get to meet like freaking like Cheeto was so nice, freaking Rashad Evans. Oh, I love Rashad. He took me like we were standing outside. He was just like, "You're a handsome guy. You could be in pictures and movies." I'm like, Rashad. I'm like, you buttering me up, man. But yeah, it's so fun. Life is a complete 180, 360, whatever. 720 is so many flips and craziness. But I'm out here doing like every day. I wake up to work and work on stuff I love. Mm-hmm. And if that's not the point of life, then I don't know what is.
Yeah,
like,
you do the stuff that you were doing before, but you get, it's a job now, right?
My passions turned into a way for me to live and actually...
How are your parents doing? How's your dad?
He's rough right now, honestly. It's hard being so far away. Yeah. His memory got pretty bad since I've been out here. But I call him. I talk to him a lot. His memory's not the best right now. The doctor took him off of all of his medications that mess with his brain. But, there's good days and bad days. But he's still there. And no matter what, like, if he doesn't come back, it is what it is, I love him. I'll still always take care of him, but damn. Like, it's rough right now for my family. My mom just had to take in my niece's sister. My brother, who passed away, his widowed wife, continued to have kids, but she's very bad off the wagon right now. So my mom's bringing in kids that aren't even hers right now. Shit's chaotic, but that's why we powered through.
Well, as a dad myself, like you want your kids to be happy, so I'm sure he wants you to be living your dream.
When he found out I got full time out here, he just like for 2 days straight he just cried. He was so proud, and every time I talked to him, he was like, "I'm so sad you're gonna be gone, but damn,
so happy,
dude, like even if you have to come home tomorrow, you went out there and you did it." Not a lot of people can say they did that,
Yeah. Here in LA, like, so you working on the show, like doing MMA, having fun, training MMA in the morning. How did the whole Alta MMA program begin with you?
So, Rich Chow, who owns the Alta program, heard my weight loss story from Brendan. And he said, this sounds like a perfect thing for George.
He's the director, right, of, because isn't it like an Australian company?
Yeah.
Something like that.
There's a lot of moving parts to it.
Yeah. It's big. It's like you have like the whole world basically doing it, From Europe to Australia to,
It's pretty big.
Yeah.
And like the message.
So who's who in it,
The message that they share is very similar to like a story like mine. Like you can come from nothing and like prove you're warrior. Like I've never been in an altercation. I'm probably like the nicest guy. Like I'm just a little bundle of joy. I try to be. Like this is like the first time I've ever been genuinely punched in the face of this program. Like, and it's great. I love it. Like I'm game. Like
I saw you, man.
It's a sport, man. Yeah. In the fight you watched,
Professor Edson's been talking about you for the last couple of months of how much heart you have.
He's my best friend. I love him. Every day I tell him, I say, I come here, I put in this effort for you. I'm like, I hope you know that. He's like, oh, George.
Yeah. It's like at first, and then he just kept showing me how much heart he has, what he has inside of him, the spirit, you know. And he became like your fan, you know.
Yeah. He always tells me, you're my favorite. And then I realized he has a lot of favorites. Every class he has multiple favorites. I went to gi jiu-jitsu and he was like, this girl, she's perfect for you. She's my favorite. Oh my gosh. I love that, man.
7 a.m., huh? 7 a.m. Monday through Friday.
No. Sleepy boy? Oh my god. Making that man laugh is one of the proudest moments of my day. Like, it's hard to make him crack sometimes.
Yeah,
He's a silly goose himself, but like to really get him to chuckle,
Yeah.
it gives me more pride than impressing him on my feet, stand up on the ground. I'm like, I got you, Professor. Even like, and that's like more of the love aspect of like Edson, like he invites me out with his family to the beach. Like it's genuine friendship and like family, like
Connection, yeah.
like it means the world. It really does. Like life is so crazy. And like to have a professor in MMA that I respect so much and like to see his craft and like he's a champion. I love him.
Lifetime of work and the highest levels.
Oh yeah, and like Vivi, his daughter, like she teaches me a lot. Like mentally, like she talked to me and she was like, jiu-jitsu, you take being comfortable in an uncomfortable position to everything in life, not just fighting. And like she's younger than me and dropping these like inspiration bombs, and I'm just like, you're a fucking warrior, dude. Like I love you. You're a great dude. Fucking, I got so many good friends, and like if I didn't have the MMA program here, then I would be working home, just like bubbling, you know. I have so much love and energy, and I get to like share.
You're living your life to the fullest. Huh?
Yes.
I mean, I saw some of your scraps in the morning. Man.
You see, I cut all my. I used to have.
Your hair would go like it was.
Oh yeah, I had 2 years of hair growth.
What was his name? The carpenter, Clay Guida.
Yeah,
like
Clay Guida.
Clay Guida.
He coaches
Just with the hair flopping, you know.
He coaches wrestling.
You're grounded. You
where
roll
I
to get on
live.
top. You're doing, ground and pounding.
Oh yeah, freaking.
With Luis, that fight you had with Luis.
Oh my gosh, Luis, he got me in like this Von Fluke arm triangle, and I blacked out. Like I have the footage of the fight. I think Kevin does too. I think everyone does. I fell asleep.
I think I was the one who recorded it. And I airdropped it to you.
I fell asleep and woke up in armbar, or like, yeah, I was in an armbar.
You blacked out,
and I
yeah.
woke up like rolling through to my stomach. It was like, it literally was like you wake up in the morning and you're like, what is happening? I'm staring at the ground of the mat and like sweat pools on my face, and I'm like, I'm in a fight right now. I was like, oh no.
That's your memory.
Yeah. I like came to and I'm like, da 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 da.
Oh my god.
Oh. And then
He actually passed out in that fight.
yeah,
Passed out.
like
Blacked out in that.
yeah. In the video, like the arm bar is like stretching my arm back, and I'm just laying there like.
So you were out at that time.
Yeah. I like my face, like my eyes are open, but like my brain is not there.
Damn.
But like, Luis had that pressure on the arm triangle. It's no issue. I freaking had Ellen yelling in my face, roll over. I roll over. I'm like, oh my gosh. Get on the ground and pound. Trying so hard.
So going back to to how you got involved with Alta. So Rich came in.
Rich Chow, he heard my story and he was
Chow.
just like, this sounds perfect for you. And I was like, great, wonderful. And then like, because I know Brendan was pitching it for a while, but nobody at the office really sound game for it.
Yeah.
And as soon as I heard him try to pitch it on the podcast, I was like, ooh, that sounds fun. And like, Rich Chow heard my story. He said, it's all covered. You don't have to pay for anything. You can go in. And then at work, my coworker, also named George. I think Brendan hired us to help remember
the first
names.
day, George and George.
The Georges. He was just like, man, I want to do it too. And I'm like, don't be afraid, ask. And he's like, how should I ask? I'm like, tell him that George needs a friend. I'm like, tell him George needs a companion. And you see the genius of it. I really wanted a companion. I needed a friend to go with me just in case I was alone, you know? So I'm like scheming with him. I'm like, oh yeah, tell him George is a little afraid and needs a friend. But in all reality, I was a little afraid and needed a friend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then we got George to come with me.
You know, our last podcast where we talked to Shigalo, he actually travels to all these colleges, and you're 70% more likely to continue with college. You know, if you have one friend,
Not even a friend, like an associate.
Not even a friend, just an associate, somebody that you can connect, you can talk to.
I believe that.
70% more likely.
That's crazy. 70% that you're not gonna drop out of school.
Humans are like creatures of like villages, and like we've even like way back in the day we formed like
Tribes. Yeah.
So it makes
to survive.
Yeah, it makes
we're
complete
wired
sense.
that way.
like any brain in isolation too long starts playing tricks on itself.
And that's the worst thing you can do to somebody in jail, right?
Oh yeah. Even just in life, like with mental health in general, don't isolate yourself. If you need help, reach out. You know, come cry on Alberto's podcast. Genuinely.
Your boy Kevin's like, you got to talk to George. Man. You got to talk to George. You got to talk to George. And once he gets focused, you know, it's like, all right, we're gonna talk to George.
There you go.
So going back one more time to the MMA. So he got you to. So you got George you recruited George to come or help George to be
then
part of it.
From there, we had this big class, probably 20 people. All the big
First day
person.
was there, yeah.
The only person besides George I knew was Matthew, and that's because he recognized me from the podcast. So I was like, Matthew
Nestor.
Yeah, I was like, you have to be my friend. Matthew the praying mantis Nestor. That's his new nickname. We need to run with it. Matthew the praying mantis Nestor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a student in New Mexico, my old gym there, is Capamocha.
Oh, yeah?
It was a Spanish, Capamocha is a praying mantis, I think, in Spanish. That's why he called him that. Yeah. He was tall and lean, too. Yeah.
I love it. But, when I started, it was this big class, and, like, anyone that really stuck around, you could kind of see their seriousness at the beginning. And it was like, it's not just everyone that like excelled athlete wise, because like I'm not an athlete. I go out there and I put my heart into it. You know how often my body doesn't respond? Quite often. But I freaking, anyone that had like fun and liked it, we stuck around. And from there, we all became like very good buddies. Like freaking everyone, like Khalil, Luis, Declan, Starcy, freaking Ellen, freaking me, George, Sean. And I think that's the whole class because everyone dropped out. Yeah. And then freaking
7 left out of the 20.
Sleepy Boy and our praying mantis, they come every day. Freaking, yeah, it's like, and everyone there, like when it's go time, we flip the switch. It's go time.
Yeah.
Like professor says to do something, his word is gold. He says jump, we say how high. Like it's very serious. Everyone there has the respect and the love of the art. That's what I really like focusing on. Like fucking fighting's okay. Like obviously it's awesome to defend yourself. It makes you feel manly. It's very needed in a lot of aspects of life. You want to protect your family, yourself. But the art of it. That's what's beautiful to me. You know, maybe it's the artiste in me, but like the craft and like the learning and the paint, the intricate details that you have to learn and do, block and like, that's what makes me love and respect it. I don't know, other people it might be different, but that's what really let me focus on it. It was like everything has a reason. And like when you do it like this and you learn the proper technique, it sets it up for everything else. And it's just like, beautiful.
You start to see the principles, the matching principles, and all the different things.
So the Alta program really just brought any source of like outside of work and inside of work friendship. It really bonded my work and my personal life together, and like who I hang out with, and like everything's beautifully flowing.
That's amazing, man. You know, I remember talking to Rich and him telling me about the program. And, you know, I love MMA. You know, we had a fight team for a lot of years, and, you know, I was cornering guys every weekend. And, you know, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, you know. And, you know, you win, you know, people, they just kind of, they don't show too much gratitude, you know. It's kind of, you know, it's really not worth, I shouldn't say that it's not worth, but it's, you know, there's not really too much return on your investment in a way, you know. I love jiu-jitsu. I love jiu-jitsu. I love the amateurness, you know, because it's like pro too, right? When you fight MMA. But I love the idea of Alta, how just, you know, people that have no background, just learning the craft. And because I had some like private students that I helped fight, become, you know, get their pro card, fight, you know. And it's like a bucket list, you know, but it's so rewarding. They're so grateful. They're so grateful. And we love MMA. You know, me and Professor Edson, we love MMA. And so it was like the perfect opportunity to kind of continue doing MMA, but without a lot of the nonsense.
Oh, yeah.
And to see the other people in the program connect like you guys are connected, to train like you're training, man, it makes me so happy. It's so rewarding.
It literally lets me like know and like fully understand why you would dedicate your entire life to it. And it's beautiful. Like it makes me have like all the love and respect for you. Like just like as a man, as a human, as a creature on this earth, like the passion and love that you have for this is the same that I feel for anything that I'm loving and passionate of. And man, I love you, Professor.
Love you, brother. Love you, man. Love you, man. Like jiu-jitsu, but MMA, especially in this environment, you know, it's like, you know, you help people live their life to the fullest. However, whatever capacity, whatever they need, they can get from it, you know. And now not everybody's the same, but they can really use this as a tool, right, to optimize their life.
Beautiful building blocks. Yeah, they really are.
Yeah, so to kind of see it, I mean, we're going on the last month, I think, of the 20 week course season, where they call it season. You know, so yeah, it's really something else, man. I'm so proud to see you guys, so proud to have it here, so proud to, you know, have it come to life, you know, just from a conversation. And it's Rich bringing it here and introducing, and Brandon Shop supporting it, and and you guys doing the work. You guys showing up. The hardest part is showing up
on time. Sleepy
no
boy.
No comment, Kevin.
I'm just getting tired.
He makes it up with making people laugh, right?
Oh yeah.
His moral support. His podcast is called Moral Support. He's there for the moral support.
I'm Edson's fucking translator, dude.
That is facts.
I'm his voice.
The Pohana translator.
Voice, bro. I yell at them.
It's the voice of the voiceless right here. I am getting tired of stretching all by myself every morning. That's what I'm saying. I get there a little early, sometimes on time, and I feel like that's late, you know. You got to get there early, you got to stretch, you got to get your stuff on. That's how I feel. If you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. Buddy?
Well, now I'm early because I'm at.
Oh, yeah. Now you're forced to be.
You live close by, and he brings you out.
He wakes me up.
Nice.
My life's changed.
Do you want to do cardio in the garage?
All right, George. What are some of your goals, your dreams? You know, anything's possible. You know, you've come, man, from Illinois, like craziness, your background, inspirational, like, you know, you're stuck and you're like, I'm not going to be stuck. And also from Brendan Schaub inspiring you, like, you know, I can do this. I think I can do this.
My current goals, like, because I'm already achieving, like, I'm doing everything I love and I'm passionate about. But I just want to keep continuing to do that to the best of my ability, be able to put my best foot forward. I want to really prove myself. Like, I don't care if you give me the smallest task. I'm gonna do it as if it's God sent in gold. Like, you know, like God would wash the feet of the homeless. Like, he didn't have. There's no pride. I want to achieve everything I can. I'll put. You know, if I got to stay up all night to edit, I'll stay up all night to edit. If I got whatever I got to do, I want to prove to myself that I can and will do it because I'm George, you know? Like, I can't do it. No one else is going to do it for me. This is my time in life to really prove it to myself. So I just want to continue to keep doing what I'm doing to the highest extent, help Thick Boy grow, continue to enjoy my hobbies like MMA, doing my podcast, 12 Packs with Jeff Dye. Just like plugs. But just doing my, like, I'm finally doing stuff that I'm proud to wake up every day and do. So I'm going to keep doing it with pride and keep putting my fucking whole heart into it. I'm very strong in believing in, like, my morals as a man, and without your word, you're nothing. And without your actions, you're even less. So I want to continue to say it and do it.
Respect, man. That's it. Any shout out to anybody? Or shout outs to everybody?
I'd like, yeah, basically everyone. Very special thank you to Thick Boy and Brendan Schaub. You guys changed my life. Really let me do my passions and, you know, make MMA news and comedy and just everything that I've loved and was my hobby. Thank you to Legacy Burbank. You guys are my safe space every morning. I come here and I fucking get to break myself down and build myself up every morning. And that's a beautiful start to go sit on a computer and edit for 8 hours. It's very much needed. There's so much. I get to expand all that energy and it's just great. Thank you to all my friends that have continued to support and be there for me through all my hard times out here, my family, and you guys. Thank you all.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, man.
Love you, bro.